But it's Manchester United versus Liverpool this afternoon. Huge game. Jamie Jackson joins us now. Huge Man United fan. Hello, Jamie.
I'm not a huge Man United fan, but I'm a huge Manchester United football correspondent.
I thought you were a Man United fan, Jamie.
It is a common misconception.
It's good to clear it up, though, to be honest.
I know what club Jamie supports. It is not Manchester United. Neither is it Manchester City. They're the two he's most frequently accused of being a fan.
Oh, wow. Do you want to say you support or not?
Thank you.
Do you want to say you support Jamie or not?
Well, I am a lapsed Nottingham Forest supporter. So when I was a kid, I had all the sticker albums, and it was sort of late 70s. They were winning stuff, and then I liked the Keane era, obviously, and then I sort of lost track of it. Father Christmas, inverted commas, did get my 4-year-old son a Forest away kit.
Did he?
But he refused to wear it, and he is a Manchester United fan.
Oh, well, there we are. He's following his dad into the big Man United fandom. I know you're not, Jamie. I know you're not. Don't tell me. Anyway, Manchester United beat Liverpool today with your non-Man United hat on. They don't seem to be able to get any game over the line, apart from that Liverpool FA Cup game, obviously, which must drive Man United fans mad.
Yeah, I mean, and what you just said there about the Liverpool Cup game, that is, that would be very frustrating for Liverpool fans, because for once they did sort of manage to snatch it the right way around. I mean, it points to probably the problems we're all aware of. The players aren't mentally always switched on. I think the managers had an absolute sort of, let's say, shocker for season, challenging, all sorts of reasons, back of house operation. And so this one here, I'm sort of, talking to you from a car at Old Trafford. I could see Liverpool routing them, sort of 4-0, 5-1, or I could see United somehow winning, 2-1. You just don't know. I mean, I don't really think they're much further forward, to be honest with you, gentlemen, than say when Ferguson left, May 2013, which is 11 years ago.
I mean, that's inconsistency, isn't it? Is what we're talking about then. Inconsistent all season. And I think Ten Hag was brought in because he is a consistent guy. He's a consistent manager, and he gets his teams to play consistently in the same way. So what's gone wrong?
Last summer, I'd suggest he was in a massive position of sort of power and ascendancy. They won the Carabao Cup, FA Cup final, which they obviously lost to City, finished third. And then he sort of makes at least 2 signings he didn't absolutely desperately need, which was the goalkeeper, Anana. De Gea was, listen, he wasn't the best in the league, but they didn't really need to do that. And Mason Mount, even if he'd sort of played all season, sadly for him, he's been injured most of it. He didn't need that position. You tell me what his position was. He started off in pre-season. I saw a few of his games in America, sort of central midfield, didn't really do much. And there's sort of, 110 million of your budget gone on 2 players. So I think that's kind of what, 2 players he didn't need. I think that's kind of where it started, really. It's not all about that, of course. Marcus Rashford's had an absolute stinker of a season, considering he was 30-goal man, signed a new contract middle of July last summer, highest paid player here, and I've kind of lost track how many goals he's got, but I don't think he's in double figures yet, certainly not in the league. Scott McTominay's the joint top scorer, a player who they couldn't sell, wanted to sell. Harry Maguire's a first choice. He'll start today probably. He would have gone to West Ham if they'd agreed the compensation, the disparity of wages. And that, again, it points to sort of some of the dysfunction. So, obviously, it's the Jim Ratcliffe era. I'm guessing he'll be here today with Sir Dave Brailsford, his right-hand man. As always with United, it's the soap opera we all sort of love to sort of watch, at least observe, and who knows what will happen next in this sort of Ratcliffe era.
And, Jamie, everyone seems to think that Ratcliffe will really whip Manchester United into shape. I have grave doubts, particularly when I see some of the company he keeps. I mean, if David Brailsford was coming in, I wouldn't let him near with 10 miles of the gate to run a shop, let alone a football club.
talkSPORT shop.
Well, that's an interesting observation. I kind of hear what you're saying. I suppose they would say, look, at the moment they're waiting for Omar Barada to come in to be the chief executive. That would probably be the start of summer. Dan Ashworth, the sort of new sporting stroke football director, and they will be the sort of hands-on main people. I mean, so Dave Brailsford's a sort of marginal gains gentleman, from his sort of Olympic and cycling time. I know what you mean. Those 2 record at Nice, the Jim Ratcliffe also owns Nice, hasn't been great. Well, it's better this season. But so you are right. I mean, my big question, and no one's asked the Jim Ratcliffe this, is what happens when you and the Glazers have a disagreement over a football matter? Because even though you control it, what drives the football sort of policy transfers is the money. Well, who controls that? Well, it seems to be the influence still the Glazers. I'd love to know what he's going to say to that, because that's surely I don't care who you are and what organisation. There's always going to be disputes, and I don't know.
I suppose
It may
does
work,
he ever have any actual power when it comes down to it?
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm getting at, Charlie. I'm not so sure. He does. So again, we're in this sort of world with Manchester United of what if, maybe it could work, it might not. Not really a way to run, I'd suggest. Let's see, it might work. But, Manchester City don't do this at all and haven't done for sort of 10, 12 years because the Sheikh's been there. Liverpool certainly don't. Arsenal don't seem to. This sort of, I don't know if you call it a never world, but a sort of, let's just see if this is going to work. We'll try this kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll be going on the summer tour with United. I'm expecting more, let's say, fun and games with them.
And when you go on that summer tour, do you think Eric Ten Hag will still be the manager of the team?
What a great question. If he wins the FA Cup and doesn't finish in the sort of Champions League spot, I think they've got an interesting decision to make. I think it is difficult to make a 100%, sort of assessment of him because he has had a lot of injuries, the Anthony sort of off-field issues, Jadon Sancho and Greenwood sagas, things like that. If he doesn't win anything, I think he probably is history. If he kind of is a trophy at this place. But if he gets Champions League qualification, not the FA Cup, that will be an interesting. Because the issue they've got maybe, and this is what football is like, is if he wins or sort of does one of those two things, and they get rid of him, and then the next gentleman, because probably will be a man, comes in and kind of bombs, then everyone will be saying, you got rid of Ten Hag because he did win a trophy last season. They haven't won for 6 years. He has got some credit in the bank. If you ask me personally, I'd like to see what might happen is because, if they are interested, I know they admire Southgate. They might say to themselves, right, we'll give him the start of the season, Ten Hag, because obviously they can't hire Southgate while he's in the middle of a Euros campaign with England. And then if he bombs, maybe then they'll make a move. It's just, but again, it's this sort of intangibles, what's going on here, sort of state of flux we're still in, really.
But there's no evidence to suggest Southgate would be any use as a manager of Manchester United. He was bang average at Middlesbrough, and then he got the England job by mistake.
Not won anything.
Yeah, the latest I was told about that was, the sort of phrase was don't get too carried away by that sort of link.
Right.
And I agree with you. Again, if you ask me a slightly different question, who do I think, if they're going to replace him, I don't think they can get him, but if they could get Ancelotti, I think he would be perfect because he knows all about big clubs, obviously with Real Madrid. He's been in this league, won a double with Chelsea, and I think he's got the right persona and sort of way of dealing with players and all the rest of it. But then beyond that, I think it's, unless Jurgen Klopp's going to do something unbelievable, even by football cartoon-like storylines and come here, which he's not. It's difficult to see who's going to be a surefire thing because this club is so far behind, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Arsenal now.
Quick word on City, as you are not a Manchester United fan, you just cover Manchester United and Manchester City. Are they confident? Are they confident of winning the league and doing what they need to do?
Well, I think the 4 points they dropped to Liverpool and Arsenal are telling. He's going to say he's confident. I think Liverpool will win it now because I think they're just playing the best and sort of just doing what they've got to do. And we're only, I think, with this game, I think they've got 9 games left, Liverpool, but I think they're going to beat United. Then it'll be 7 games after this game. It'll only be 21 points to sort of to have to achieve. I think Liverpool win it, so they may be confident. I'm going to Madrid tomorrow for the City Champions League game. They may well win that competition. I'd suggest that they've got more chance of that than the league at the moment.
Jamie, you've been brilliant. I know you'll have one eye on Tottenham, Nottingham Forest later on, as you're a
course.
Forest fan. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Appreciate it.
Thanks, JJ.
Cheers.
There we are, Jamie Jackson there. Not a Man United fan, but he covers Manchester United
funny,
and Manchester City. I thought he was the dyed-in-the-wool Manchester United fan. I've met him in Manchester at the National Football Museum to talk Manchester United. It's unbelievable. Imagine that.
But he is the Guardian's guy in Manchester. All Manchester City fans think he's a United fan, and all United fans think he's a City fan. It's the same in all the big cities.
Yeah, David Tannant is our man in Scotland. He's covering the Old Firm for us today, and Rangers have a penalty, David.
Yeah, Rangers 0, Celtic 2, 55 minutes gone. A controversial one at that. Fabio Silva went down in the box under a tackle from Alistair Johnston. He was initially booked for diving, but then VAR said, come and have a look at this, and there was a touch on his knee from Alistair Johnston. And after much deliberation, a penalty to Rangers was given. James Tavernier has 131 career goals He has a penalty kick now. Top corner. Rangers are back in the game. It's Rangers 1, Celtic 2. 55 minutes gone. James Tavernier with his 6th goal in an Old Firm game.
Barry, you had a question?
I just wanted to ask, when did Fabio Silva sign for Rangers? That one passed me by completely.
Don't ask me. I don't even know where Spurs play.
January.
In January. There we are. Thank you, David. We'll be back to you if there's another goal. Guest the attendance with Justin Morehouse next.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.